So I'm back in the forest garden and the crows are chirping somewhere over there. I decided not to wait them out and just, jump right into the video. Ever since I built that plant nursery back there, I've been dying to, put some baby plants in there, start raising my own little plants from seeds. I've got some Japanese maple and I've got a couple different kinds of, fancy looking bamboos that are gonna they're gonna be awesome to watch grow. Before we get started, there's one crucial step that we can't ignore before we plant any seed. And for that, it's gonna require us to zap back to the past exactly one day. So let's do that now. Whoa! Am I back? Am I exactly 24 hours in the past? Because that's where I need to be. What we're gonna do is an old gardener's trick, but it's not a myth, it's just plain common sense. We're gonna soak our seeds for 24 hours. We're gonna soak them overnight before we actually plant them in the soil. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna help those little seedy buds inside break free from their hard exterior barriers and reach out in the soil and reach out into the soil to become full-grown plants that we can love and take care of. The 3 different types of seeds. We've got our Japanese maple. We've got our lucky bamboo. And we've got our ventricosa bamboo. We've got some paper towels and a bucket that we're gonna put some water in. Just a little bit'll do. Try not to spill as we walk back, but also hold the bowl up in the frame to make a nice shot. Now you might think we're just gonna open these seed packs, pour them in the water and leave them there for the night, but that's not what we're gonna do. Number one, the important thing that we don't wanna forget is we need to remember what these seeds are. So that's why I've written the names conveniently. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I've written the names conveniently on each of these little bags. And instead of just tossing these seeds in the water, what we're gonna do is we're gonna soak some paper towels, we're gonna wrap those seeds up in them, and then we're gonna stuff them in their little tiny Ziploc homes for the night. I just realized I was making a video about soaking paper towels in water. I know this isn't rocket science, guys, but the reason I'm showing you is just to inspire you to get out there and pick up some of your own seeds. It just makes it a little bit more approachable when I show how simple and easy it is to soak your seeds overnight before you plant them in the dirt. So we've got our wet soaking paper towel. We've got our Japanese maple seeds. We'll just spread them around in there, to kind of give them each their own little home. Wrap them up like a present. Little envelope that they won't fall out of. Give them one more soak. And into the bag they go. This one right here will do. We'll just stick them in there nicely. Hopefully we won't forget about them, but of course we won't because we're too excited to get back to the future. And we're gonna do that now. Am I back? Every time I travel like that, I get one more gray hair on the head. But it looks like we've got our supplies behind us. Looks like we've got our variety of what I consider exotic seeds that have been soaking all night long, waiting for us to put in that messy soil. Speaking of soil, got a little of that good stuff right here. Some may say this is the most important part of planting any seed. I dare to object and say that the seed is, of course, the most important part to the planting of any seed. And that's why we got those right here. Now, just to go over the other supplies that we'll need, we have a bunch of little plant boxes. And the coolest thing about these things is that after our seed is grown, we don't actually have to take it out of this. We can just plant this directly into whatever, new pot of soil that we put it in. And then most importantly, beside the seed, of course, as we went over before, we've got labels and a trusty Sharpie marker. Now, if you don't label your seeds, how are you gonna know what they are? So don't skip this step. Don't be lazy on the labeling step. You don't have to create a label for every single plant, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna have trays of our individual seeds. 3 different trays with little covers to kind of keep the humidity in. So sticking these little signs in each of the trays will help us to remember what we've actually planted until, of course, the seeds have become mature enough where we can identify them as their as what they were meant to be. And now, of course, these seeds are going to live in this this plant nursery or our greenhouse right back through there. But it's a beautiful day. The sun's not out, but it's still a little bit muggy and hot. And I just kind of felt like relaxing by the pond today while we did all of our scooping and planting and things like that. So I've already kind of pre-moistened this dirt just to make it, you know, a little bit juicy in anticipation for its new seed inhabitant. And right off the bat, I'm gonna ditch the shovel. We're going all hands on deck with this one. I basically just want to press that in. Like the way that the earth crumbles off the edges as I press it in. Just remember, this is your little home for your new little seed. You know, treat it with a little bit of love as you put the dirt in, and I'm sure that seed will appreciate it and grow a little bit bigger for you. I'm gonna fill at least the rest of those, maybe those, and those too with some dirt. And then I'll see you back for the big moment where we actually start planting some of these seeds in their new little homes. Now we've got a whole tray of adorable little pots, just waiting for their little seedy inhabitants. And who should we go for first? Well, I think we'll go for our Japanese maple right on top. You know what? I just put this little moss carpet in beside the pond here, and I think this is gonna make the perfect place to unwrap our new seeds. The perfect little background, in fact. That's the kind of thinking you gotta do when you're making gardening videos. You gotta present all of your garden items, all of your beautiful new seeds in the perfect light, the best light you possibly can. That's what I'm trying to do anyways. Or I'm just trying to ramble on because I'm excited. This is the most important step. We're gonna unwrap our Japanese maple. The whole point of creating this little paper towel wrapper here was just to give these seeds a proper soaking. You know when you've been in the shower for a long time and you get out and your fingers are kind of pruny, your toes are kind of pruny? Well, that's the same idea that we were doing when we were soaking our seeds here. It's just to kind of loosen up that hard exterior shell so that when they get into their little new homes here, they're ready to break free and become beautiful new plants. Let me give you an up close of the Japanese maple seeds. There's one. But for this step, we're going to go with the good old-fashioned traditional method of poking a little hole in each of our little soily pots here. You don't want to go down too far, just enough. Feel free to straighten up your pots on the way. Am I getting a close enough shot? You can even use other fingers if you like. Got our seed pots ready. Just waiting on its seeds. So you don't even have to be too careful. Some people even kind of damage the side of the seeds before they put them in, just again to kind of loosen up that hard exterior texture. But what we're gonna do is just drop one of these in each hole. And a few of them, to be honest with you. We might put a couple in the holes. If the seed's looking a little bit more wanky, the seed's a little tiny or something, throw a few into those holes. You can put 1 or 2 or 3, it doesn't really matter. We'll end up keeping the best plant, the ones that actually are kind of, you know, showing their muscles off the most as they pop out of these little pots. But of course we just need to make sure we've got all of these different pots in this tray filled. Isn't it exciting listening to the forest noises as I do this? That's why I chose to do this out in the forest garden. There's also just something super rewarding about having a full tray when you're done. Just the anticipation of what these little things will become. Which ones are going to be the biggest? Which ones are going to be the strongest? Which ones are going to end up in the forest garden out here? I don't know. That's the mystery. That's what's so wonderful about planting new seeds, is you don't know exactly what you're going to get. Pinch everything closed. Just want to seal those little seeds up into their nice little homes. Everything nice and sealed up. And now again, let's not forget our last crucial step, making our tiny little sign. And there we have it. Boop. I have made a sound effect for you. A completed tray of Japanese maples. And now all I have to do is plant 2 more trays of our different bamboos. So I'm not going to spare you the process of watching me fill up the next 2 trays, but I'll see you back when I've got enough of these pots to fill up our next 2 trays, and I'm sure I'll come up with some, you know, fancy insights or something to pop in and talk to you about while I'm doing it. If you want, I can give you another up-close dirt shot. It's the most enjoyable part of the process for me. You can even get a little weird with it if you want and snip it. Pre-moistened, and it feels so cool on your fingertips. What do you know? We can stick that hole right in there before we even put it in the tray. And that's called prioritizing. Is it called prioritizing? No. That's called learning and being more efficient with your time. Sure, we'll go with that. And here we are, 2 more trays, already pre-labeled. Lucky Bamboo, Ventricosa Bamboo. Now they're just waiting for their seeds. It's pretty basic, as long as you can, scoop some dirt and make a little hole with your finger. And remember, most importantly, to label your bags, label everything. Label, label, label. That's the actual hardest part of this whole thing. This is why I dug my little holes a little deeper. Can you see that? It's like a little grassy spike, these bamboo seeds. And again, we're gonna throw, one of these in each hole to start, and then with whatever extra we have, we'll go back and we'll kind of fill in the other holes and stuff like that. This is the more meditative part, where you can just kind of zone out, listen to all that buzzing in the forest around us, and plop, well, some new babies. I mean, does it really get much better than this? Playing with new little babies, surrounded by a beautiful forest garden, full of all sorts of life, chirping and talking and, I don't know, just making me feel alive. Doesn't it make you feel alive too? I think that's what I love most about this stuff. Being surrounded by life just makes you feel that much more alive yourself, doesn't it? Last one, all sealed into its new cocoon. And there we've got it, 3 brand new trays of little planty babies just waiting to sprout up out of the earth and, delight our souls as we watch them grow. Let's get our new nursery trays here into the nursery over there. We've actually got an additional layer of protection for these guys. Most of these seed trays and stuff, they're gonna come with lids, and basically what that does is it just keeps it nice and humid in there. But if we've learned anything from gardening so far, it's that humidity comes from, you guessed it, water. Standard video game, walk back. Always gotta get one of these in each update. And a nice POV soaking for you. Maybe we'll just do it in a line. There we go. Some for all of yous. Welcome to the world. You're gonna become big, beautiful plants. So don't worry guys, I've got you all covered up. I'm gonna take the best care of you. I'll water you as often as you need. When you get nice and big and strong, I'm gonna plant you in beautiful places and do amazing things with you. It's never too early to start a relationship with your new seeds either, Again, one of those, you may call it weird until you actually have a relationship with your new seedy plants. And then you'll get what I'm saying. You'll get what I'm saying at that point. Now that we've got our seed containers here in the greenhouse, I've been waiting for where to put these little guys right here. And I think it's finally time to put these potted plants that have been living in this greenhouse for, I don't know, the past month or so. I think we're gonna go out into the garden and choose a spot for these before we end this new seed video. I went to visit a person in the mountains that had a tea garden, or a tea plantation, as he called it. And I ended up bringing up a couple different plants home, this being one of them. And I never really got the names or anything like that. But these are kind of special plants because it was just a fantastic day seeing this tea plantation and wandering around. The guy also had just an amazing garden and everything like that, and I was so fortunate. How about right there? Let's end this video by putting a future example of what we just created back there in the greenhouse, into the ground. The goal of everything that we did today. I will say one thing that I've learned in using these fabric pots is I'm not a huge fan of them. It's a little hard to get the plant out, but they do the trick. Oh man, it's a doozy right here. Oh, okay. See me pull that thing out? Anyways, I do what I can for our new plants, I told you I was there for you. I told you I was there for you, buddy. Now my favorite part, smushing some dirt around this guy and wishing you the best of luck in your new home. Don't worry, I'll come back and actually cut these things in just a second. This is one of those videos that wasn't in and of itself the most exciting video ever, but what is exciting about it is the prospect of what's coming. It's the adventure that we're gonna have with these new seeds. Now we're actually putting that greenhouse back there to the use it was intended for. We've got 3 new trays of, you know, what I consider exotic plants growing. We get to watch them grow, we get to watch them sprout, we get to watch them become, you know, what they were made to become. And if you want to see all that with me, well, stay tuned and we'll watch these plants grow together. I can't wait to see what's next. We'll see you then. One more thing I wanted to point out with you is that our canna plant back here is now officially actually quite a bit taller than me. I don't know what it is with this area. This raspberry plant has maybe at least doubled in size too. In fact, maybe some of these new plants that we're growing will take advantage of this new spot that I've been clearing here in the forest garden.